Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel. Here today, guys, as we are going to be previewing the game between Barça and Celta Vigo live from the Camp Nou this Sunday. And for me, it's a big one because sometimes after a bad defeat, after a bad game, you can often dread the next one. You don't want to play that next game. But I think this is different. I think actually we needed this game to be straight back into things here. Just days after our defeat to Inter, we got the chance to solve some problems, to work some things out, and to find some rhythm, which is desperately needed. Let's grab this chance with both hands this weekend, as we need to see some ruthlessness from Xavi in his team selection. There has to be changes, in my opinion, and we're going to be discussing it all right here. Let's go! Because indeed, guys, the first significant change actually comes in the form of the venue this weekend, because finally, we are back at the Camp Nou. For me, that is absolutely huge here. We've had two tricky away games, having to travel to difficult stadiums to get a result, and now it is our turn to have that. We host Celta, then Inter, in back-to-back games, in front of what we expect to be a raucous crowd at the Camp Nou, and we have to use that home advantage. We have to make every minute uncomfortable for our opponents because we are top of the league. Coming into this weekend, guys, we cannot forget we're top of the pile. And with all of the work that it took to get there, with all of the time spent, a long time it's been since we were top, we've got to work now to stay there. We have to protect what we have. And that means this weekend, no mistakes, no hangover, no letting up. We have to win. Because looking at the way that Barça have returned after the international break, you look at the first game back that we had, it was a scrappy 1-0 away win there, only courtesy of Lewandowski's phenomenal solo goal that we won that game, and that could certainly be described as an unconvincing one. We needed to improve, we needed to pick up the pace, and we needed to do it very, very quickly. But we didn't do that, because in midweek against Inter, it was, in my opinion, a full-blown nightmare at the San Siro. The worst possible result for us in the Champions League, of course. The anger that we felt towards the officials and the decisions that were made. And, of course, the frustration towards our players and, indeed, towards Xavi himself over the team selection. And that can't continue. What we have to see now, heading into this weekend, is a halt to that feeling. End it now and hit back. Because we have to see a huge shift in intensity from these players from the very first minute against Celta Vigo. We have to see, ultimately, more from them. And then there's Xavi. I think what we need to see, we've spoken about it a lot, after the Inter game, but he does need to take ownership here. He does need to be brave, bold in his selection, make some changes, shake things up, and ultimately show what we've been seeing, it's not good enough. And it cannot continue in these games to come. Because when you are looking at our opponents this Sunday, Celta Vigo are often a team in La Liga who can cause anybody problems. And although they have had a sort of mixed start to the season, they are lying right now in mid-table in La Liga, but they always carry that threat, and especially against Barça, they're one of those teams that seem to raise their level, that seem to enjoy playing against us. And if there's one man in particular, this is inevitable. You know who I'm going to mention right now. Iago Aspas, he is the man to look out for. He has played against Barça on 15 occasions. 10 goals for him. He loves playing against us. He's got assists as well. He's had 4 wins against us in his career, and 3 of those goals against us came in last season alone. And especially here against a makeshift Barça backline, we've had injuries there. He will fancy his chances, and we need to be ready to shut him down and keep him quiet. And I think it is very, very interesting indeed to look at that Barça backline, given the injuries that we've suffered there to Araujo, to Koundé, and now indeed to Christensen at the heart of our defence. That means that this weekend again, we are set to see another fresh face from the B team, because this time at centre-back, say hello to Chadi Riyad. The 19-year-old Moroccan centre-back there, born actually in Mallorca. He came up through the youth system there, and he's been growing in prominence over the past few seasons, ever since joining up with Barça in 2019. And I think especially this season, he has been so impressive there for Rafa Marquez's Barça athletic team. He's played in every game so so far this season, and what he is, he's a very dominant centre-back. He's one of those that's a real presence at the heart of your defence. So I think that is something here that coming into the first team, he can make that step up. He will feel confident to do that based on what he's been showing so far this season, and quite clearly, the quality that he's had, the promise that he is showing, has not gone unnoticed by Xavi. Because for the game against Celta Vigo, Riyad is indeed included in the squad list for this game. He's in there and in contention. Marc Casado is also there once again, the right back, and somebody, of course, who can also play in midfield. Pablo Torre is there as well. And the fantastic news is, and news really that can boost all of our confidences, Frenkie de Jong is back in the squad. He's 100% fit and 100% ready. And with that, let's move on to the team selection. Because in terms of the starting lineup, these are big calls. There are some very, very big decisions that Xavi must make coming into this game. And I think it's also interesting because he still will have one eye on that reverse fixture against Inter. Just days away that it is now. But at the same time, we've got to win here. It's no good thinking about Inter. What for me we have to do is get the win here, get the confidence back, go strong in this game, and then take all of that momentum then in to that Inter game. So for me, Ter Stegen must start in goal, of course. At left back, it is plain and simple. Start Balde. It was a big mistake not to do it at San Siro. Xavi, I hope, has learned from that mistake, and he must start there at left back. He's been so good this season. At right back, obviously, we are not blessed with options. For me, Roberto again has to start, but I think we need more from him. He didn't support the winger enough against Inter, and we will need improvement in his performance. At centre-back, again, not an abundance of options there either. I think it's very likely to be Piqué, partnered there with Eric Garcia, and we will need those two to stand up, and not only stand up, but also stay fit in this game. And then into midfield, and this of course sees, like I say, the return of Frenkie de Jong, and I would either like to see a midfield trio of Frenkie playing there at the heart of it, at the holding midfield position, supported there by Gavi and Pedri. Obviously right now Kessié is injured, or I think more likely what we could see is Busquets holding with Frenkie de Jong there as the interior, supported there by Pedri. This might be a game here to rotate Gavi, to put him on the bench, just give him a bit of rest there. Didn't play so well. The game didn't suit him against Inter. Another big call and big decision that I think Xavi should make is actually resting here Ousmane Dembele, putting him also on the bench for this game. For me, he hasn't really started so well, so brightly since the international break. There's no point in forcing it. You know, you can easily just put him out there, because what you then can do is play Rafinha on the right-hand side in his natural position, give him a real opportunity in that role with Lewandowski up front, and I would start Ansu Fati. He came on against Inter, he made a real impact, of course, he was at the heart of some of the big decisions in the game, but Lewandowski, Ansu and Rafinha to face Celta for me. And I would also say as well, guys, that if we do find ourselves winning in the game, if we do find ourselves with a comfortable lead, which of course would be a dream come true, that would be fantastic for us. But then, I think Xavi should use Riyad. He should try and bring on Casado. He should look there to Pablo Torre in midfield. Let's give some of these young players opportunities now. If we are ahead in the game, it's the perfect chance to do it. Because with the way that injuries are going, with the way that our squad is going, we're going to need them at some stage. So give them a chance when you can. Give them that experience now. And I'm sure that it'll pay off later. And when you are looking at the predictions ahead of this game, it is safe to say right now that confidence among Barcelona fans, it's not on an all-time high. We are not flying coming into this game, make no mistake about that, but we still are confident of winning. Win there by 2+ goals is the favourite, plenty with a lot of alternative score lines there as well. And I think what we have to do here, guys, we've got to win this game and just get that confidence back. We have to find some rhythm again, especially in attack for me. Let's score some goals tomorrow. We haven't seen that since the international break. We haven't seen combinations, fluid attack in play. Let's sort that out here. Let's put things right. And ahead of a massive week next week, it starts here. It starts now. Let's perform. So please, guys, do leave your full thoughts and predictions in the comments down below. What do you think Xavi should do coming into this game? What are the big decisions that you are looking for him to make? What would be your team and your scoreline? I'll catch you, of course, after the game, when hopefully we will have bounced back. I will see you for all of that to come. thank you indeed for watching and for all of your support today. I really appreciate it, guys, and we will keep fighting. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça!